3, 2, 1. Shaq Fu.
Yeah.
Love that game.
Oh,
Never
man.
played it though.
Yeah, bro. The hits on that, fire, honestly.
Fire
Fire.
theme.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome to Campy Cast again.
Yeah. What episode are we on again? I forget.
9. We're on 9. I know it's
that's...
as of this week, hope you had a good Halloween, which was this week.
Yeah, that
At
happened.
least the week that the time we're recording this.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
hope you had a good Halloween.
Yeah.
We were busy this week, so that's why we didn't upload, enough. Like, we had a last-minute special guest, stuff like that. But,
wanted to do another Halloween special, but we didn't, which was sad.
Yeah, but this is sort of one. Like, we have two horror-ish kind of related
we just wanted to talk about really kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
Didn't really fit, but we gotta talk about them anyway.
Yeah, we're going to talk about these 3 movies. And, you'll see, I'm assuming if you see this, you know the meaning of that Shaq Fu line because it's related to the topic in some way.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna
jump right into it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's news.
I don't know. I didn't even know how to start this episode. I guess we just just go in, no news, no interesting things other than Sonic Forces is 5 years old.
Yeah, good for that. That's our news item of the day.
Yeah,
Sonic Forces,
Sonic
5 years
Forces,
old.
which is bad, but that's a story for another day. I don't know. Like when we start doing gaming ones, which we haven't done any yet. Like I said, we're not even double digits.
Just because we don't play as much games, we're like don't game as much as we did before.
Yeah. We just don't do as much games because it's harder to. Same with shows. Like we want to do more shows in the future, but like we might have to like try and wonder like maybe we'll split certain shows into like 2 parts. So like because like the moral oral discussion was really long, but that might just be in the case for that show. So.
Okay, well, actually, whenever we do show episodes, they'll probably be really long. But I don't know when
true.
we'll do
It'll be like a special one. But today's just
it'll be like a cool surprise whenever we do like a big one. Yeah.
So let's just let's just go into bodies. Yeah. Let's just go into that.
Funny title, by the way, but that's not what we're talking about.
It's based off the game. Spoilers, the game that the characters play. Spoilers for Bodies. Spoilers for all these movies, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
But, so, I, heard about this movie, and, I think it's a new release, kind of. I don't know when this film came out.
Well, relatively, I forget, but...
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've just heard some people on Letterboxd discuss it, so I'm like, screw it, let's talk about it.
Yeah, it was kind of... Well, we wanted to do it last month, but, the delays and stuff.
Yeah, delay, Jason X, Black Adam, stuff like that. Those films were more important.
Yeah.
No offense to this
exactly.
Because I did enjoy this movie. I think it was enjoyable for most of the part. There are definitely some...
I liked it.
It's not great, but I liked this movie. I don't love it, though. I know a lot of people really like this movie. A lot of people love it, and I understand. I do like a lot about this movie. I think it does what it wants to do really well, of being like a satire of the Gen Z type generation, and not like in a don't look up sense, like to the point when they make these characters feel inhuman and idiotic and unlikable and overbearing with it. No, because this film just I think it's because the satire itself is just better and betterly written. It's it's more subtle, which that
could
film
be
is
way more
opposite of
cringe than it
subtlety.
actually is. I guess what I'll say.
Yeah, it could be worse. I don't know. There were I wouldn't call the film laugh out loud funny. I don't know. I didn't find the film the funniest thing ever, but there were some chuckles.
Most funny my main chuckles were just from character interactions, some parts the part where the Suicide Squad guy, I forget his name, the Suicide Squad guy, Marmaduke, he was just
Pete Davidson.
Yeah, he went on that rant about just random like terms and stuff. I found that kind of funny. Just like stuff, I don't know, stuff like that was like just wasn't like laugh out loud funny, but it's like decently humorous, and it's kind of why I don't mind it having like as much I don't know, modern like terms and stuff. I don't know how to describe it. It's like because there's like a point to it. It's not just like cringe for no reason, right?
Yeah,
You know,
like I think it's like well written, like I said, and I think it's like well executed. It does what it wants to do well, and I think the color grading is also really good. Like the neon thing and like the bracelets they're wearing, like really like works well for the film's like atmosphere, and like works for the tone. The tone and just like what the film does is done well. So
yeah.
that I'll give the movie that. That's probably my biggest like compliment with it. I
Yeah.
there's like it's entertaining for what it is. It's enjoyable. I had fun with it. It's a fun little mystery story about
Mhm.
about seven idiots being trapped in a house.
Yeah. It's a
or
bunch of
whatever Gen
quirky
Z
people,
stereotypes.
and they may eventually start yelling at each other.
Yeah,
Which is,
basically
yeah.
just like basically losing their minds, people
Yeah.
dying.
I kind of enjoyed
dying.
what it devolved into. It just at the end, it just kind of becomes a big argument, I guess. I don't know. It's
But I feel
kind of
like some of that goes on for a bit too long.
it's not like great. I don't know, but I found it kind of interesting. There was something to that.
Yeah,
Kind of happened.
I understand the appeal for this movie, but it feels like that like every character like just felt like the same type of character in terms of like what
they're
they
all
were
kind of like one note, and I guess that's kind of the point.
yeah,
But still,
I don't know. It just like doesn't lead to that like great of an experience. Like I get these characters are sort of designed to be like obnoxious and dumb, but like I don't know, it just leads to a pretty experience because I don't care too much about the characters in that way.
Well, none of them are really likable since they all just like yelling at each other. They don't really. None of them really like each other. Which,
I mean, like
I guess that's still kind of the point, but still, it's just not. At times, that's kind of annoying. But I don't know, there's still.
I mean, like the
mild
main
point
character
there.
is like quiet and shy, or I think she's the main character. I don't know. There's not a central focus for the course of the movie, but yeah, I don't know. She's just not like the most interesting character, I guess. Like I don't know. It's like I enjoy this film for what it is, but at the same time, like it might just not be like something I was able to get too into and just kind of got tired of after a while, I guess. And I understand what they like are doing, especially with the ending, which I'm pretty mixed on, because I understand it. I think it's a good satire. It does what it wants to do. It gets the job done. But like, I just think like it was like the ending for me was really mixed because like I understand.
Well, I kind of like that as like a joke.
As a joke, it's fun.
I see how someone would like. I see someone would find how that undermines the entire movie. Kinda. I don't know.
Yeah, so like friggin' Pete Davidson actually killed himself. So it turns out there was never a murderer. Haha. I understand that was the point. That was kind of the point of the movie because it was like that they all like died for their own incompetence, and it like works from a satire angle, but like for like mystery angle, it felt like it was just a cop out. I was like,
it kind of undermines the whole
we
movie
messed
if you look back at it.
because I was actually really engaged in the mystery at times. So like when it was just like, haha, there was no killer. Get fucked.
For that, that makes me think if I were to ever rewatch this movie, I don't think I would soon. But I don't know, like for that, like I don't know I don't know how much that would hold up on a rewatch, since that it just kind of like hard to get invested in a mystery where the payoff is that one guy just killed himself by accident.
He just killed himself by accident. Like I don't know for doing like a friggin' TikTok trend or whatever. And then like, yeah, that's the end. I don't know. It's like the character who just can get too much out of them. Like it's entertaining. Like it's fun watching these like these idiots lose their mind and there's some good like conversations, and I understand what the movie tries to do with it. I understand why people like this movie. A lot of people really like this movie. I'm aware this is a moderately unpopular opinion in a lot of ways.
Yeah, but I don't feel like that much praise, but yeah, I
enjoy this
movie.
Like it's not great. I understand. Like I said, I understand why people enjoy it. I enjoyed it personally in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like,
especially compared to like this is an A24 movie, by the way. Compared to like most of their other movies, this is like not as good.
Yeah.
Aside from Men, which is probably worse than this. We're never talking about Men. But yeah, I don't know. Compared to like everything else I've seen, this is a lot worse, but still not bad at all. Like this is still like well made in a good amount of areas. Just nothing amazing, I guess, basically.
I don't know. I just didn't get too much out of it. Like the type of thing it was trying to say and go for. Like, I don't know. There's just like a lot of like dumb moments, and I guess those were intentional, I guess, but just kind of got a bit confused. Like the scene when they kill the other character, like
yeah, the old guy. I think he's
the other boy character who is not Pete Davidson.
Yeah, no, I call him the old guy since he looks significantly older than every other character.
I think he is. But I don't know. It's like, why would they kill him? Like, just like, I guess why did the girl kill him? I guess he was like harming people, but why?
Yeah, that reminds me of another thing.
It feels like at times it feels a bit like too exaggerated, but not to the point when it gets annoying or anything. It just like in that case, it just felt kind of off to me. I don't know. It's just not really my thing. Like in terms of like comedy, like there were some chuckles I got, and there's definitely some charm to it that I enjoyed for what it was. But like for what it is just something I'm not that into. Like not as much into as that I wish I was. Like I wish I liked this film more. It's not amazing. It's not bad. Far from bad. I like a lot about it. Like it's like I said, the presentation's good. There's some good dialogue and some. And it's a good satire, but yeah, it's just might not be that much of. This is just like not my thing. It's not it's one of the better films I've seen this year, but that's not saying much. I've seen a lot of terrible movies this year, so it's really not.
It's number 15 out of 39 on my 2022 list, so technically top half. It's still not even great.
For me, it's number 12. So that's not it. Yeah, but it's not. There's a charm here. I enjoy it. I enjoyed this movie.
I also did, but not great. I would kind of recommend just don't go in expecting anything too amazing. Basically,
maybe you'll like it. Maybe. Yeah, I can understand why. What you think of?
You have something, or do you forget? Because I had like one thing.
I just zoned out for a second. What'd you think of like the mystery like itself? Like, were you engaged? Were you interested to see where it was going?
For the most part, before I think I knew I didn't know what the twist was, but I knew that involved Pete Davidson's character somehow. So I was like, okay, how does he tie into it? But then it doesn't work. It works decently as a mystery, but then when you actually get to the part where everything's revealed, that's kind of it's funny. It's a funny reveal, but also actually, one thing I think the last main thing I wanted to mention is they do. It's a partial joke when they kill the other old guy. One of the girls says they killed him because he was a veteran or something, and the joke is that she misunderstands him for because she thinks he was a veteran or something. But then the other girl's oh, he was an assistant vet or something.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Accent for a dumb. I don't know. I guess that's. I don't even know if that's a part of the satire. That's just the character being dumb.
I don't know. Just at times, I feel like they could be a bit too dumb. Like, I guess in terms of like stabbing the guy and like how that guy who was supposedly older than them decides like harming them. I guess even though like he could just like like reconcile with them and just convince him that he's not the murderer or something. I don't know. I don't know. Just like stuff like that was like, really? Because I understand the satire. It's done well. It's like it works for what it is. Like for making fun of this type of generation, I guess. And it works like most of the time. It's not like overbearing in terms of like they're not inhuman in how dumb and like bratty they are in some way, because like they're all like just vibing in a beach house, and then there's a murderer here. It's a nice setting. It's a fun mystery. I enjoy it. I didn't really know what to expect going into this movie. I heard a lot of people like I looked at the trailers, and like a lot of people were saying that the trailers of this movie made it look awful.
Well, I never watched the trailer actually. I just heard that the trailer.
I think it was like the way it was presented. I saw a glimpse at it, and I was like, yeah, I could understand. So luckily, it definitely succeeded people's expectations, and a lot of people seem to really enjoy this movie. And I could understand why. If I could see the appeal. Just might not be my thing. It's more of a subjective point of view for us at least. But yeah, do you agree?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree mostly with everything you said on it. Like not overall great, but fun. You want to go into ratings and stuff now, or did you have anything else?
Yeah, like I thought the characters were kind of one note. I don't know what I said that. I thought it just kind of got old and like I don't know, lost its charm for me. It just wasn't really my thing. I didn't find it all that funny.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I don't get too much out of like them making fun of this Gen Z generation, though there are some enjoyable
it's kind of like
they get out of it.
At certain points, like I get the point they're trying to make, but like it doesn't make the movie too enjoyable. Like
these teenagers are
all
dumb.
like and it doesn't like and even still, it's not like too much of like a cool point.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's not like mind blowing in my opinion.
Kind of like it works as a satire, but that satire is also just not saying that much.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. I couldn't get too into it. Like, yeah, I don't know. A lot of people, like I said, really like it for the fourth time that I think about mentioning it a lot. But a lot of people got into this film and enjoyed it for what it was, and I understand. I understand why.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops! I just dropped something. Whoops. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I don't even know if I have too much more to say. Like, I know this was kind of a short discussion, but hey, same with Jason X. That was kind of short. Like, it's pretty self-explanatory for that movie. This is just kind of like it's just kind of mostly with criticisms, just not really our thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we got 3 things we gotta talk about, so
I guess so. I have more to say about the next one, but yeah. I enjoy this movie. Watch it, and would we recommend it?
I guess overall, yeah.
Maybe at the end we would say.
And plus, I haven't heard many good horror movies this year, so by default, if you want a kind of good horror thing,
like I recently watched the new Scream movie, and I thought that film was awful.
Oh yeah,
but
very
that's a
bad.
whole other video altogether.
Whole other can of worms just to get into. But
yeah, but if you want my thoughts on that, then like just follow my letterboxd, since I wrote a review of why I hated it. So yeah, I guess I'll give it a solid high 6 out of 10. So,
yeah, I would give it a decent 6 out of 10 as well.
Yeah, I could rate
enjoyed
it, but I had fun with it. I enjoyed it. Would recommend to people who I guess enjoy this type of style of humor, and like
Yeah.
making fun of this type
One
of
of the only
generation.
I will say this is one of the only recent satire things that isn't really annoying or overbearing.
To be
But
fair, the last
yeah,
satire I watched was Don't Look Up. That I
yeah,
was from
that's
one I
true.
like
Still,
saw. This is like a much better satire than Don't Look Up because it actually makes sense why the characters are dumb, unlike in that movie. So yeah, I guess
mm,
that's it.
yeah.
6 out of 10 for both of us, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, should we get on to the next movie? I have more to say about this movie, but yeah, should we
Mm.
get on to it?
Yeah, all right, yeah. So next is another more recent release,
Yeah,
the new
I,
Henry Selick film,
Wendell and
Wendell and
Wild.
Wild.
I was
Uh,
interested to see this movie because by the trailers,
mm.
it didn't look too appealing to me. Like obviously the animation is a phenomenal, but that's like a thing for Henry Selick. But like I think
Just like a stop motion pseudo guarantee. Most stop motion that's out now
still it is
is
hard not
good.
to appreciate the art and like heart and soul that goes into the medium of stop motion animation. So like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I almost just appreciate it for that alone. But I enjoyed this movie. I liked it.
I did too. Not as much, but it has problems, but I
Yeah, it has
enjoyed myself.
issues. Like it has a lot. It's more flawed than like other Henry Selick movies, like The Nightmare Before Christmas and Coraline. But it's probably better than stuff like I don't know. You've seen every Henry Selick movie, like Monkey
Yeah,
Bone
I
and
did
Daisy
actually.
the
I
Giant
watched
Peach.
all of them to pseudo prepare for this. I'd seen Nightmare and Coraline before, but I watched his two other movies, which I won't go sidetracked on that. One of these might make a potential future episode. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But yeah, I watched James and the Giant Peach, which is mid, but don't have much to say about that. The movie's weird, but it's not that good. And then I watched Monkey Bone, which is an awful movie, but I love it. It's the
I
stupidest
want to see
thing,
Monkey
but
Bone. No one talks
yeah,
about it
you
because I
should
think it was
watch
like
it.
a box office bomb and like
But yeah,
it's Henry
it's like the
Selick's
only
only live action movie.
yeah. You can kind of see why if you watch it, but yeah, it's
Yeah, I'll check that
I
out at
love
some
that
point.
movie
I'm kind
too.
of curious,
Yeah.
but
I
yeah.
guess if I had to, I ranked all of his movies, but yeah, this is smack dab in the middle. It's better than the two I just mentioned, but not as good as Nightmare Before Christmas or Coraline. Just the
Yeah.
split right in the middle there.
Uh-huh.
And yeah,
Yeah.
it has like problems to it, but overall, I'd say I liked it.
Yeah.
And
I had fun with this movie. It was better than I expected it to be actually. Like I actually fairly enjoyed it. Cuz like
it kind of met my I kind of expected it to be like I heard some stuff about it being kind of like bloated or
yeah,
unfocused.
I
Kinda.
understand some of the criticisms I've heard for this movie from like people on letterboxd I guess. But like
Yeah.
I understand this film is flawed. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I just enjoy it. I just had fun with this movie from beginning to
I
end.
did. I also did.
I had a blast with it. I really like the characters, which I'll talk about them in a sec. But yeah, I had fun with this movie. And yes, the animation is really creative. It's so
The
nice.
animation, I don't want to say it like elevates it high, but it kind of like
it's like
is the standout thing, which is
I
obviously expected since,
yeah.
aside from Monkey Bone, which Monkey Bone actually has really good stop motion, but it like combines it. But obviously his other three, well, actually other three like movies that do it, yeah, they're all really good at CG. Stop motion. Yeah, and this is no different. Obviously, it all looks really nice. The
Yeah.
character designs, especially of the actually no,
I
the
love the
titular
characters.
Wendell and Wilds. I love
I
those
love those
character designs.
designs. They're
They're
The
so
titular Wendell and Wild are the best part of the movie.
yeah, which is surprising since I'm pretty sure that was like a by the way, this movie was written by Jordan Peele, which was actually the main thing that scared me actually since spoilers I don't like Jordan Peele movies at all very much.
The comments are that the people are typing. The
Yeah,
Peel fans are
I know.
typing. That might be a separate video because of why we're mixed on Jordan Peele's writing in some way. But it was
that's a whole other discussion. That's
a whole can of worms. Like I think
long story short, Jordan Peele is a good director, but his actual scripts are either very messy or very confusing, which is why I was scared about this.
But not luckily, I think Henry Selick also wrote it too,
which kind of balanced it out. I think some of the Peele-ness, I think he wrote some of the comedy for it since he was like a comedy writer before he started making his sketches or whatever, and he's good at it, but he's Wild and Key and Peele.
I think like Key and Peele do a good job at playing these characters, and I really like their dynamic. They're just fun characters. I don't know, they're funny. I love their designs. I like their like dynamic and just
as much as I don't like Jordan Peele, he clearly has like chemistry with Keegan Michael. You can tell that.
Yeah, and it's very reflective within the characters. Like I like what I enjoy at times when they do that with movies. I guess I know they do that a lot with like The Rock and Kevin Hart, but like I think it works better here for me. I guess in terms of because of like I like the characters more, and I think their like dynamics well reflected within them because like. Yeah, they work together a lot, it seems. I'm pretty sure, But, they're fun characters. I like their, like, aspirations of opening a carnival or whatever to make money. I like that. Spoilers, by the way, but we said that before, but just spoilers just in case you skip to this section because we add timestamps. But,
okay.
So, just great stop-motion animation. There's a lot of variety with it. Like, the carnival in the opening with Belzer looks really cool. You just finished this movie.
I had to watch it relatively recently before recording, so a lot of it is fresh.
Good. I saw it like a week ago, so, like, it's at least fresh in your mind. So,
by the way, one thing I will say, though, this is, I got a lot of moral oral vibe, not just because of the animation, but the plot when they go around eventually and they start bringing everyone back from the dead. It's literally like the moral oral plot where Oral and Doey revive. Revive everyone. It's that was the first thing when they started reviving. People was like, oh my god, it is like that.
You take inspiration from moral oral.
Henry. It's okay.
Did Peele take it because he wrote this? Or whoever.
Maybe.
He also wrote it. Henry. They both wrote it, but like, did they take inspiration?
That'd be cool, actually. That'd be funny if they did.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that would be very memeable. But yeah, let's talk more about the story. I really enjoy the characters, mainly Wendell and Wild, and their aspirations of running a business all lead to some fun jokes and likable character traits, and an enjoyable dynamic throughout the entire movie.
Other characters I did not like nearly as much. Like, they weren't bad. I don't know. I wasn't like.
There's a lot of characters. The biggest issue with this movie is that it's a bit too ambitious. And it leads to some cool creative ideas and concepts and some cool animation.
Like,
but it
honestly,
also leads
the whole idea. I think the whole idea, you could have just had the idea be that these two people go around and they like want to revive like just a bunch of dead people and like the kind of the wacky shenanigans that come from that.
I think if that was mostly what it is,
you know, then they tie it into the main character because she wants to revive her parents because they died. I guess that happened.
If that was the main
tie that in.
If that was the main focus, then I probably would. This could probably live up to Nightmare Before Christmas and Coraline almost.
Yeah, but no, they like add a ton
way too
it.
much, honestly. Like the whole thing
they
going
revive,
on
like,
with
the other guy, and he has his own plan. It's like this company. There's their own thing.
And then there's the villains of the movie, these evil businessmen who killed the main character's parents. And now it doesn't want them to be brought back to life. And then they're basically pulling the strings because they're the reason Wendell and Wild and the James Hong guy end up kidnapping her parents.
And also, out of this was foreshadowed. But at the end, the conclusion they come to is that the cream that they use to revive all them, it just kind of wears off after a while. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that was like I forget if there was like a line that established that, or it just feels like kind of like partially a cop out, like, oh, that was it. They could have waited for them all to die.
The biggest cop out for me is mainly like the character Belzer, who is basically the father of Wendell and Wild, and like he just gets this out of nowhere redemption. Like it wasn't foreshadowed in any way. It's just thrown in because it was never shown that he even really cared about Wendell and Wild. And, like, it was never shown that there were other demons that ran away from him. And then he just gets a last-minute redemption. And then just, yeah. Like, you could have done something else with that. Like, you could have at least tried to find a way to tie it into the main conflict of the movie. But no, he's just redeemed now. That's kind of forced. Yeah, so that's my biggest issue with it. Just kind of underdeveloped and a bit... And it's mainly just over-ambition that really holds this film back for me. Plus,
that's why I have it higher. Like, even though I enjoyed it, that's kind of why there's like there are a lot of like kind of flaws to it, but I did have a good amount of fun with it. So that's something.
Yeah, I agree. But I also thought the music felt a bit out of place at times. Like it's mainly
some of the songs that was like another.
It's mainly the scenes when the kid was like painting on people's like roofs for some project, and then they just played like this weird punk music. Like it could fit at times, mainly with the scenes of the main character, but at times it just felt off. And then there was like these bad instances of shitty slow-mo that just completely took me out of the style and tone of the movie. Like it doesn't happen that much, but like the few times it does happen, it feels unnecessary and just like it's the presentation for that's easily the worst part of the presentation. Other than that, everything is great because of the creative and well-used stop-motion animation. It's just like that's the downfall for me for this movie. But I do like the characters. Like I like James Hong's character. I like it was funny every time he opened his mouth. I just heard Mr. Ping from Kung Fu Panda. I just kept hearing his voice.
So I didn't make that connection, but
that's the first That's the first thing that came to my mind when I heard this character, and I loved it. He fits the role well. And the main character, I thought she was annoying at first, Kat. But like, I think like she kind of grew on me the more they like developed.
Another thing, I didn't dislike her, but I don't know. I wasn't like. I think it could have been like another thing. Like, I don't know. I didn't think she was as interesting as she could have been, or like, I don't know. That was like one of the things that kind of prevented me from really liking the movie. Like, she's like fine. I kind of like the dynamic she has with everyone else. Like, over time. Because I don't know, it's just not as good as it.
I like the main two leads, her and this like other kid in her class, and it's like they're enjoyable characters. I definitely like Wendell and Wild probably the most because like I think the voice acting signs here, and like I said, they're just fun. I think this movie would have been like even better if it just focused on them like opening a carnival, performing like tricks or something and trying to make it in the business or something.
Yeah. But no, at first I honestly thought I wouldn't be into it like at all, because at the beginning, like I thought I was just gonna focus on like Kat and her, like they said, oh, she has to go to this school that she doesn't like, and oh no,
hijinks are gonna ensue in here.
She doesn't ensue, but no, that doesn't really happen. Like once Wendell and Wild get involved, they do all the like the
they start to steal the show here.
Stuff.
Yeah.
So once that all happens, I like that, but
you could tell just
takes a bit.
Yeah, you could just tell by looking at watching the trailer for this movie that it's doing a lot. It's doing a lot here, but I just enjoy what it does, and I have fun with it. I like I don't even remember what I was gonna say. I I wish that. I guess I almost wish they like. I guess they develop, like I said, develop some stuff more, like maybe the stuff with like the nun and how she's also like, I guess like a hell maiden as the movie calls them. Like they have this like teeth mark and like, and that's like. I don't know. It's like how they can like summon demons.
I wouldn't say they didn't need to develop. They should have just like had less stuff so that they could focus on some stuff
and the main
more.
conflict was like kind of as well, like with the whole like businessmen thing.
The whole thing, they go with the big corporation. Like I don't know. I wasn't into that as much. I kind of just wanted it to be like, because the thing is, to compare it to his other movies, Nightmare Before Christmas is an extremely simple movie. Like. Most of it is just Jack. He finds Christmas, and then he like the rest of it just centered around like I don't know what his plan is for. Just planning. I think the
story is so simple that it could be equally carried by the visuals and animation and just the animation and songs and like the story is
to be, like,
nice and engaging enough to be enjoyable, and it's a class. Exactly. It's a classic for a reason.
And thing is like, and like I don't think you need to be that simple. Like I actually like Coraline more than Nightmare Before Christmas, and that one. I
think I might as well.
And that one has more like kind of intricacies to it. Not like, but yeah, like still like Coraline, even still that has like one like central thing. This is actually partially why Monkey Bone is Henry Selick's worst movie. The movie kind of feels all over the place, but that's a story
probably
for another day.
Probably more all over the place than this movie.
Yeah, definitely more. Just Wendell and Wild kind of has like the same, not the same, but just it's less of it. But yeah, I think if they like, honestly, I think I would have liked them more if they just focused on that like one thing, because Wendell and Wild, I don't want the other characters aren't bad. I just find them more entertaining than every other character. Yeah. And like I like something like the one main guy who apparently ran the school, but he died and he comes back and runs. I like him.
Yeah, the James Hong guy.
A couple of the other guys.
I like him. I like Wendell and Wild. I like also they're the best parts of the movie. Yeah. The main character, I wasn't the biggest fan at first, but she definitely grew on me, and I liked her development over the course of the movie. And the climax, while a bit rushed, is pretty entertaining and well done visually. So I'll give the movie that. It always kept my attention, and like it's like I was always
interested by it because it was at least interesting to like check out, but. Yeah.
Like you said, visually it's amazing. Like creative, great character designs, a lot of cool sets and stuff. I don't know. Just like you gotta appreciate the art of stop motion animation, like I said earlier, because like there's so much thought and effort put into it, so much time. Like it's hard not to appreciate a little bit of it. And I wouldn't call it style over substance or anything.
I wouldn't call it style over substance because this movie does have genuinely a lot of things that I really like. It's just like
a lot of cool, well executed ideas and amazing.
Ironically enough, sometimes I feel like a movie can be too simple, just focused. But no, I think like if it had like I said, it is kind of over ambition, honestly, that I think kind of holds it back. Because I still enjoyed it a good amount. Just I don't know. That's like my main thing. If they just
I think the highs are high enough to me, so to the point when I can call this a good movie. Like I
still think it's like I still have it at a positive rating tag. I'm just saying, I think I would have it could have been honestly on the levels of maybe Coraline or like Nightmare Before, because like that tier. Yeah. If it just was like more focused and stuff. It is nice that honestly we're getting a new Henry Selick movie at all, because it's literally been. Monkey Bone was his last before this. 2001. It's been a while, but
I don't know.
Not Monkey Bone. Coraline
was the last one. 2009. It hasn't been that long.
About that? It would have been funnier if it was Monkey Bone was his. Oh no, because I was looking at my ranking in Monkey Bone. I don't know, subconsciously. Point is. But yeah, it's still been a while, over a decade.
It's a nice return for Henry Selick, and it's gonna be, and we'll see Henry Selick in the next decade or so, or whenever he decides to make another movie.
If he can.
You think
I'd be happy if it did, but obviously stop motion takes a long time.
You think this will get nominated for Best Animated Feature?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It won't win, but it could get nominated.
It might win. I don't know. I hope it wins. That would be
But the thing
interesting.
is, Disney has like I don't know that many
Anything
critical
over another
barrels.
Disney movie at this point.
Is it gonna? It's if it's not Pixar, it's gonna be Strange World.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Oscars once
Let's
again have
be
no
fair.
respect towards animation. Literally, just yeah, whatever. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this movie was still good. A lot of cool visuals. There's some humorous and fun moments, some great ideas. And while it's flawed, I'll admit I criticize this movie a bit. And it's because I do have a lot of issues with it. Like, honestly, as hard as sad it is, I could almost see myself maybe lowering my rating in time. But as of now, I'm feeling positive. I generally have a lot of fun with this movie. I generally wouldn't mind seeing it again. I actually would probably have fun with it. I could understand.
I could in the future eventually see this
The
again.
issues a lot of people have. It's definitely flawed than the average Selig movie, but at the same time, he also made James and the Giant Peach and Monkey Bone, which I heard is some of his weaker movies.
Yeah, James and the Giant Peach. I talked about them briefly. James and the Giant Peach is very unmemorable. Monkey Bone Fire though.
Still, you gotta appreciate Henry Selick. While his stories are not always perfect, you gotta appreciate the talent and passion he has for the art that is stop motion. And it's nice to see that art being expressed in a bit over ambitious in an incredibly charming and creative way. And I just appreciate that, and I generally am happy I don't need to call this film style over substance, because I do enjoy the film a lot. It's not perfect, it's far from perfect. I don't know. I guess ratings should do that.
I'll go 6, like kind of like a decently high fair. 6. But yeah, I enjoyed it, but it has stuff where I'm like kind of iffy on it. But I did enjoy like a good amount, just not like that much. I'm gonna be fair here.
Yeah, this is more. I'm giving it a 7. It's more it's a bit iffy, low, leaning on a 6 here, because like I said, I have stated there are a lot of issues with this movie, but I think it all came together near the end of it. Everything just it was fun. I enjoyed this film.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I had fun with, which I guess is what matters. But,
it's an enjoyable, fun movie. I would recommend it. I would recommend it.
I would as well.
Yeah.
Watch Nightmare and Coraline, though. Those are both better.
I think those are better. I enjoyed this movie. It's like I can see myself lowering the rating because of the issues. Kind of make it seem a bit worse in my mind. It's sad to say, but yeah. But man, I just have a lot of fun with it, and I just can't help but love it. I'm giving a 7 for now. Could go down at a later date, but I'm keeping it at a 7. So that's all we have to say. Also watched before. Yeah, I also watched Nightmare Before Christmas, before this, and I actually, looking at this now, I remember liking it before, but never liking it quite as much as everyone else, and I still wouldn't call it one of the best animated movies of all time, but honestly, now that the songs have become much more stuck in my head, I think the film is just stuck with me more, mainly because how many songs of it and how much that type of feeling I have while listening to them takes up the movie, and to the point when you're you know what, sure, I understand the
appeal. Still Coraline more though, because I just really I think
I the story in Coraline more.
Yeah, there's a more solid story, and I think it has that perfect balance of I don't know. Those could maybe get another video someday.
That might be a hot take, because I know a lot of people go as far as Nightmare
Before Christmas, but
I think Coraline is just better story and character-wise, in my opinion. But I enjoy it. 7 out of 10. A nice welcome return to Henry Selick, despite its flawed story.
I hope he comes back in a decade, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what he's cooking up the next decade, or whatever. So
now for the final film.
Epic movie, the film that you've all all been waiting for. You know it. You love it.
You love it.
It's Kazaam, baby.
This is the 1996 film Kazaam.
The iconic classic Kazaam with Shaquille O'Neal.
He plays a genie.
He plays genie. He plays an epic rapping genie. Now, I would have to say spoilers for this movie. I would not want you to get spoiled for this subversive, creative, immersive, and beautiful experience. So I'm not going to spoil it. But, I mean, I am going to because we're going to discuss it now. But you have been warned.
I would not spoil if I was walking in public and you had not seen Kazaam. I would never spoil any plot points.
This is
my oath.
Even if you ask me to spoil Kazaam, I would just run away because I would not.
I would run away. I would never spoil Kazaam.
Anyways, this film is really dumb. I'm just gonna say it right here. It's so cheesy, hilariously cheesy. It's kind of like Aladdin with the genie, but like actually no, completely different. It's like Aladdin, but it takes place in the 90s.
Modern day. I guess 90s would have been modern day at the time.
Yeah, the genie is in a music box for some reason. They never explained that. I don't know why he's in a music. He's just in a radio music box for some reason. I have no idea why. He's just there. He's just in there. Never explained why. Never explained how he's a genie. Never explained if he was like, I don't know. To be fair, I think the original Aladdin doesn't explain that either.
Yeah, well, we don't really. That's not really the point. The point is, we see him, and well, I don't know the backstory behind this movie much, but I guess we got. I guess the first big thing.
I'm gonna search up
the first big thing. Shaquille O'Neal here. Plays the titular Kazaam, and spoilers, Shaquille O'Neal is not a good actor. Sad to say, he did not do a good job portraying the character of Kazaam. I don't know. A lot of scenes in the movie are really, really awkward when it's just him and like the kid.
Yeah, it just
feels like he's trying so hard to be like funny or likable. It's kind of.
You just got this like grown, tall man walking next to this kid, and the kid is mean. He is so mean to his stepmom and stepdad. The kid is so mean. Like I guess it would make sense if like his dad died, but no, his dad just like had a divorce, and his stepdad is and mom are like mainly nice to him. And he's just so mean. Like, he literally just, like, allows these bullies to just steal from his dad. Like, what about Call the Genie? I thought, like, this scene would lead to the genie, like, I guess, like, helping him in some way. He's really tall. He could scare them away. Why not just say Kazaam or something like that? But no, you just allowed them to, like, basically nearly get your father killed. Like, this kid is so... He's so unlikable.
And for some reason, he'll prioritize his actual father, even though he's like an asshole and one-dimensional, and I don't care about him. He's rich and he has parties. That's like his main personality trait. Like
his dad has no character or any sort of development.
His actual dad is just a plot really uninteresting.
Yeah. And like his stepdad is just kind of nice to him. Like he didn't do anything. Like there's no like sinister undertone with him. And I guess he learns to appreciate him. I guess that's a part of his arc. But, like, I just don't buy it. It's like, I also don't buy his relationship with the genie at all. Like, he ends up, like, the genie just stops being a genie halfway because he gets sucked up into the fame, I guess. Like, he's just, like, he's just a famous rapper now. And he's just, like, he just spits straight bars. Just rhymes. Every time Shaquille O'Neal rhymes, it's so cheesy and awkward. Like, all these weird expressions he makes over the course of the movie. Like, the direction is so weird. Like, okay, Shaquille. You have to make this, like, you have to be this lovable guy, and then he just does these creepy faces in front of people.
The face on the poster is so cursed. Like he's
the face he's making.
I can't put my finger on it.
Poster.
The
poster is the funniest thing. Look how weird the poster is, and just the weird ass face he's making. It's just like, I don't know. Was he just phoning it in? Was he? I don't know. Like, he's just like, he's kind of like, I think like the only reason they casted him is because we need a tall genie. And since CG isn't able to make people taller yet, we just get Shaquille O'Neal or something. I don't know. I don't know. It's very like, weird. I don't know anything about the production of this film. I tried searching it up, and, I'm not even going to bother looking too in-depth on it. Something tells me it was something strange in terms of how they came up with the idea for this movie, because it feels like a fake movie.
It feels like they were just like, I don't know, shit. Like, it feels like one of those marketing things where like, oh, this famous, because I don't know much about, I don't watch sports. I don't know what his career was at the time. It feels like, oh, Shaq, he's an athlete, but now he's an actor now.
Now he's a genie.
And I guess he could have kept going. He's been in other movies, so I guess he did keep going. But he's not good at it, so...
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't buy his relationship with the freaking kid. Because, like, there's this scene near the end where, like, the kid almost dies, and then the genie, cries, I guess. And then he comes back to life, and then all of a sudden he, like... I guess is now free, I guess. And like I don't know. And like the scene transformation looks like the CG head people have been memeing from For Love and Wand.
Oh my god, I wasn't even, it does
actually. Yeah, that's what came to mind when I watched this movie.
Oh, it is like that.
Yeah, it's like it feels like a fake movie, like one of those early 90s commercials for like this is a cool kid's toy. Wow. It's like one of those. It's like I can't speak. It's like a Space Jam like type of inspired thing. Like it's bizarre to the point when it feels like it was like inspired like that type of like a commercial, like Space Jam.
Yeah. Well, it's like one of those movies, but it's not a commercial for anything. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess for Shaq. Shaq has one line in the Lego movie where they make a quick joke, and that's better than all of Shaq's dialogue in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're ready for this.
Yeah. It's like his dad is just a plot device. He has like no interesting. And then the villain. Holy crap! The villain of this movie. He's just like this evil businessman. The acting for him is so bad. Like he's trying to go through like this, I think Brooklyn accent or whatever, like this mob boss thing or whatever. I don't even fucking know. And it's just so bad.
He's intimidating. Be scared by him.
He's just so unintimidating. Like the kid doesn't even talk like a kid. He just like the kid is just so unlikable. Honestly, for the majority of the movie, and I don't even buy like his turnaround or whatever. Like, because, like, how did the genie teach him this? Honestly, I don't even know if he needed to be the genie. If you, like, tweak the story, find, like, another excuse for the wishes to happen, I don't even know.
Honestly, the wishes are kind of like, they don't do anything.
Like a genie for most of
the wishes are kind of an excuse for this other story about his dad to come into play, which really, I don't know if you could have technically told that if you like tweak things, you don't really need the genie aspect. Yeah, he doesn't wish
for anything interesting or like fun or like something that would make sense. Like he just like, I wish for my dad to have this. I wish for this thing to happen. I wish junk food would fall from the sky, which is just like a test thing. I wish for my dad to have a second chance, I guess. Like, what do you mean, like, at life? Like, is he gonna be reborn? That didn't happen because he now gets a second chance? Like, how does that work?
They don't even do, the limited, wish thing that the Aladdin usually goes for to, make sure the wishes have, an impact. No, he just, he can do whatever he wants. He just never does.
Yeah. I like how when he first introduces him, he just tells the genie to fuck off. He's
oh, yeah, he just doesn't, he's so mean to everyone.
He's so mean to the genie. Like,
it's kind of funny, but also,
it's like he, at first it feels like he doesn't think he's a genie, but then when he grants the wish, he now knows he's a genie. But, how else would he appear like that? He's clearly magic. He's performed magic, beforehand. So, why? Like, he doesn't, there's nothing, he doesn't wish in a way like an actual child would, I guess. Like, sure,
Yeah,
he
they aren't
wants to help
like
his
an actual
father,
child would
but
wish
like
for.
I don't care that he wants to help his father because his father like has no character. He's literally just like a businessman who works for this evil guy who ends up threatening to kill him after the bullies, thanks to him, end up like stealing money from him, and then like for like some CD, and then like the kid is the reason that happens. Like what? Like you I don't know. Like, and then the kid, it's just like I don't buy any relationship this kid has with anyone. I don't buy his character arc. He's just a jerk throughout the whole movie, and I don't buy his turnaround at all. I don't even know if it was supposed to be a turnaround. Was the movie expecting me to like him? Because I didn't like him.
Well, no, I don't. I think there's technically supposed to be a turnaround, but they still expect you to feel bad for him in the early scenes of the argument scene where he's like, "Oh, you're not my real dad," and even though he's like the nicest person, and he could try to
so
cope
bad for
with the situation at least a little bit. And also, I think I'd get it more maybe if it was a younger kid, but no, the kid looks like he's like 9, 10. He's like decently old. He could like cope.
He doesn't. He acts like a. He's like 15 years old just by being 9 or 12. I don't know. There's something about his attitude. Like, I don't even think a kid in the 90s would act like this. I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
Like, in something like A Christmas Story, I think based off the time period, it makes sense why the kids might act like that. But in here, it's like, I don't know, it's in the 90s.
Oh,
Are we
Christmas
sure?
Story, that's potentially supposed to fit into the time period. That's like the thing.
I don't know about this movie. Like, did kid really act like this in the 90s? Because it feels like he would at least be a teenager. And he just talks so weirdly with this, like, Brooklyn accent. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of these weird faces. Like, this weird image I found. And also the scene, the worst example of CG in this movie is when the Kazaam ends up, like, crumbling the villain into, like, this ball, and then it looks like something straight out of a Robert Rodriguez kids movie. It's like, and then he just bounces it, and we see these, like, it's just so weird.
That's another thing. Not great CGI at all.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting that.
For 90s standards.
It was. I can't say I'm surprised by this, because, like, I don't know. It's like bad 90s CGI. Like, but like they could have at least took away stuff like the friggin' bouncy ball villain guy. You could have took that away. You didn't.
Took it away a lot, actually.
I don't know. Yeah. Like they could have like, I don't know. They could have worked around the CG more, I guess. Like, also, I felt the bike scene when they just, like, they just go on the bike, I guess, and they just go all over the place, and he ends up flying. I found that scene funny, because how awkward the dialogue was and bad the visuals were. This film is funny. It's really dumb, and it's, like, it's the story's painfully generic, I guess, but, if we're being honest, like, oh no, this kid does not accept his stepdad. And he learns to accept his family. By the end of the movie, he ends up getting mad and runs away. He looks for his real father. He learns stuff about I don't know. It's just like, it's just so dumb with this movie. You know, it's like a random thing that I don't understand. I'm really curious to see why this movie was made. Wait, alright. It's just like...
Yeah, I'm not really sure why. Like I said earlier, I feel like it was kind of made around the actor itself as opposed to being for, like, an actual story, you know what I mean? It feels like it was just a vehicle, like I said. Like, I don't know what the movie was marketed as, but if I had to guess, it feels the gimmick was just Shaq is in a movie now.
It feels like the only reason they cast Shaquille O'Neal is because, one, to advertise the movie, and two, he's tall, and I guess they want the genie to be tall, I guess. Which makes it weird when you see this grown, like, tall kid just, like, walking around with this kid. Like, this tall man walking around with this kid. And then the weird scene, like, this weird scene in the kitchen where, like, he pretends to be the kid's tutor, I guess, and the mom falls for it. Like, they just, like, she just believes that the school just randomly, like, gives them this, like, tutor. Just, like, out of nowhere. Like, that scene is so weird. And that he just makes the, like, French toast or whatever the hell fly into their mouths with some more dated CG. But that's a given for a movie like this. Like when you look at the poster
I doubt this had much of a budget at all. I know this is Disney since it was Touchstone, which was like a subsidiary thing they had. I don't know, because they didn't want to market, because even though they own some stuff, they didn't want to market it as Disney for some reason. But no, this is a Disney movie. I guess they were busy in 1996. I don't know. Hunchback was coming out. I don't know. They had stuff. I guess that was more important in the year 96. But oh well.
It's like like it.
What do you know? This was the same year they released James and the Giant Peach. See, it all comes back together.
It all comes back to Henry Selick's creation. Yeah. As soon as you look at the poster and idea, you know this movie's gonna have bad CG. Like that's the first thing that came to mind going into this movie.
It's kind of like the vibe. You can like, it's hard to describe. Just some movies you can kind of tell the vibe of their effects you have by just looking at them. Like when you hear 90s Shaq Kazaam movie, that's like, oh, I would not have good effects.
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind when I think of a movie like this. Also, the music, like every action scene, there's like this weird rock music, and it's all like, boom, this is such an epic action scene. Wow, he's running away from the bullies. Wow, this is so epic. And then like the freaking rap that Kazaam sings with the kid. Oh my god, it's just a bunch of lines of his name. Yeah, I'm Kazaam, about to spit straight bars out here.
Is that where the green eggs and ham line came from? Because I know that's in the movie, but I
thought that was from like I thought, no joke, I thought that was like from a completely different other thing. I thought that was like from the green eggs and ham show that like something like that.
I'm pretty sure this is a line from Shaq. This movie.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, it is. It is. I was surprised that's where that line is from. I thought that was like from something like a meme or like the green eggs and ham show thing. Like I didn't know it was from this random movie. So I guess that's the most well-known thing about this movie. Yeah. I don't even know what to say. It's like the story is pretty predictable and cliche, but it's funny because Kazaam, awkward dialogue, poor CG, and it's just like
it's both out of the way. We both like this movie. It's just awful.
It's just like bad and like from an objective standpoint, and it's just so dumb. Like I don't know why. Did you like anything about this movie? Unironically?
Unironically, probably not. I just think it's funny.
I don't even know. I don't think I can think of it. I just don't think there's anything that like makes me all that angry, I guess. I don't know. Like I don't know. Like like I said, I'm annoyed by the kid character, but I guess in like a different way. Like to the point when it's funny, I guess, how annoying and unnecessarily annoying this kid is. But like in like do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess so. Like as for my rating, I guess we'll get into it. Do you have anything else to say? Because I think I got everything I need to say.
I don't think I do. But short of it, Kazaam, epic film. Fun film.
Yeah.
Inspiring film.
Yeah. I would give
bad film. But yeah.
I would give it a 3.
I would recommend this movie, but
I would recommend this movie if you want to watch it with a group of friends.
Yeah, definitely. If you're looking for, I wasn't in it, but a couple of my other friends did a watch party of it recently. But Yeah, well, not recently. It was like a couple months ago, but I know it works well for that setting. Basically,
yeah, you'll have fun with it, or watch it with a group of friends and get absolutely wasted.
Yeah,
if yeah,
that,
something
that
like
sounds.
that.
It was like a weird movie to watch under any sort of influence.
Yeah,
I don't
you'll
know.
have fun with it. I don't know, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'd give it a 3 or 2 out of 10. Maybe 3 out of ironic enjoyment, but like as objective, it's 3 or 2. But yeah,
I give it a 2 out of 10, even though like I think I enjoy it more than the 3 out of 10s I've watched on this pod. Actually, yeah, the main one like Smile and Banana Splits on the list I have ranking everything we've talked about. I put those higher, but in my heart, cause I love Kazam more than Mobo.
Kazam is an epic movie and is still better than Matrix 4.
I love. Yeah.
Kazam.
But unironically, yeah, it makes more sense.
It is more. It is more entertaining, much less boring, much less long, and much less insulting. So yeah, yeah. So guess that's it. We talked about 3 movies. We didn't have much to say about all of them. Like at least not as much as I thought it would. We would. Yeah. But yeah. This was another fun episode. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of KB Cast.
Yeah. At this point, I genuinely don't know what we're talking about next time.
Yeah, we gotta plan these. This was like.
You know what? I will say though, we've been considering that Sonic Forces app for a while. It's the 5-year anniversary, so you know.
Maybe it already passed, but maybe we'll do like a late 5-year thing.
Wait, I think it's tomorrow. I believe.
Wait, I thought it happened.
Well, by the time we're recording,
really?
Actually, having an editing, it might release on the 5-year anniversary, but. It's okay. This is the month of Sonic Forces. We can all celebrate the 5 years.
Yeah, and Sonic Frontiers is coming out in like 2 days, which we could talk about, but like game stuff, budget.
I don't know if I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I'm gonna buy it. I kind of forgot. I've heard the other trailers make it look better. I just have not watched.
I mean, there's some stuff that looks cool by the trailers. Like honestly, I am not good at like keeping up with the games I get because like I buy games at times and then I keep multitasking that. Not multitasking. I keep like postponing when I play them. I get more games, get distracted with that, piracy, blah blah blah, dolphin, blah blah blah, all that. Like you know, it's harder. But we want to do more game stuff in the future because we have stuff to say about certain ones, especially Sonic Forces. But yeah. So that's a wrap, I guess. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in once again, and yeah, see you guys.
Yeah.